I was the first and I was the new, and I was like making something interesting happen that wasn't happening before. Even when I met Jay-Z and I signed to Roc Nation, the first thing he told me to do is get plastic surgery. I'm not insecure because I would have got plastic surgery. So their argument of my insecure, that's why she needs to fucking massage her ego, fails. Because if I was insecure, I would have done that 100 times over. Even when I met Jay-Z and I signed to Roc Nation.
The story of NWA is one of triumph, betrayal, and groundbreaking artistry, a saga that transcends music and delves into the complex web of loyalty, ambition, and survival in the cutthroat world of entertainment. They weren't just a rap group. They were revolutionaries who redefined the landscape of hip-hop and gave a voice to the voiceless. But the same explosive energy that propelled them to fame eventually tore them apart, leaving behind a fractured legacy that still sparks debate to this day. At the center of it all are Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, and their contentious relationships with their manager, Jerry Heller. The fallout wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal, riddled with resentment and accusations that turned friends into rivals and created a rift that has never fully healed. In the late 1980s, NWA was on fire.
Because I didn't have any money to make it.
Yeah.
And so that was like, okay, I'm gonna make some money.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna make this film.
Yeah.
And music was so easy. I was like, okay, I'll do it, you know.
Yeah.
But every day I wanted to quit, you know? Because I was like, oh, I gotta get back to this film.
That's crazy.
And they were like, no, but then you've just been like nominated for this.
Yeah, they're calling it the album of the decade. Yeah.
Songs like Straight Outta Compton and F.K. Poeta, The Police weren't just music. They were cultural grenades exploding onto the scene and forcing America to confront the realities of systemic oppression and life in the streets. NWA was raw, unapologetic, and groundbreaking. They were the voice of a generation. But behind the scenes, things weren't so harmonious. Ice Cube, widely regarded as the lyrical backbone of the group, started noticing cracks in the foundation. Cube wasn't just a rapper, he was a writer, a storyteller, and the architect of much of NWA's image and messaging. He was penning the lyrics that electrified audiences and gave the group its edge. But when the checks came in, Cube noticed something wasn't adding up. At first, Cube tried to address the issue quietly. He wanted to see his contract, to have transparency about where the money was going and how it was being divided. But every time he brought it up, he was stonewalled, particularly by Jerry Heller, the group's manager. I just wanted to know what was going on, Cube said in an interview years later. But every time I asked questions, it was like I was causing trouble.
So their argument of Maya's fucking insecure, that's why she needs to fucking massage her ego, fails. Because you turn around and ask those motherfuckers, what women do you know who hasn't had plastic surgery around you? All of them have.
That's not all. Around the same time, M.I.A. signed with Roc Nation, yes, Jay-Z's management company. She thought that this was a golden ticket to the next level of stardom.
It all came to a head when Cube confronted Eazy-E, who co-owned Ruthless Records with Heller. Cube gave Eazy an ultimatum. It's either Jerry or it's me. To Cube's shock, Eazy chose Jerry. Feeling betrayed not just by Eazy but by the rest of the group, Cube made the difficult decision to leave NWA in 1989. This wasn't just a split, it was a declaration of war. Cube didn't slink away quietly, he launched a solo career that started with a bang, releasing M.I.A.'s Most Wanted and a death certificate.
Right, like, and just like here's the information. So if we achieve those goals at 36, you do it at 26.
Albums that solidified his reputation as one of the most ferocious voices in hip-hop. But Cube didn't just let his music do the talking, he took direct aim at NWA with one of the most brutal diss tracks in history, No Vaseline. In the track, Cube pulled no punches. He accused Eazy of being manipulated by Heller, called out Dr. Dre for his silence, and labeled the group as sellouts. I wasn't just mad, I was hurt, Cube said later. I felt like I gave my all to this group, and they turned their backs on me. NWA responded with diss tracks of their own, and the feud became one of the most talked about rivalries in music.
I've done that 100 times over. Even when I met Jay-Z and I signed to Roc Nation, the first thing he told me to do is get plastic surgery, and I didn't. because it's okay.
But while the group tried to soldier on without Cube, the cracks in their foundation only deepened. Dr. Dre, the genius producer behind NWA's sound, was also growing increasingly frustrated. Like Cube, he began to suspect that Jerry Heller wasn't being entirely transparent about the group's finances. By 1992, Dre had reached his breaking point. He left Ruthless Records and teamed up with Suge Knight to form Death Row Records. Dre's departure was seismic. Death Row quickly became a juggernaut in the hip-hop world, releasing game-changing albums like the Chronic and Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. With Dre's production skills and Suge's aggressive business tactics, Death Row took over the West Coast rap scene. But for Cube, Dre's success with Death Row felt like a betrayal. It wasn't just that he left NWA, Cube said.
Then everyone cancelled me. And when I was cancelled, I went to India for a bit, and then that's when I discovered what my name meant.
It was the way he did it. By teaming up with Suge, it felt like he was trying to erase everything we built together. Cube has hinted in interviews that Dre's decision to align with Suge wasn't just about business. It was about distancing himself from NWA's legacy. And while Dre rarely speaks about the breakup, his actions spoke volumes. With Death Row dominating the charts and NWA fading into history, the rift between Cube and Dre grew wider. The tension wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. Cube felt abandoned, and Dre was busy carving out his own empire. Meanwhile, Eazy-E and Heller continued to defend their decisions.
What happened to your record?
And they pulled my record. I got cancelled.
That was 4 years ago?
No, this was October 2022.
So wait.
Wow.
Who was they though?
I'm walking out.
Nice.
Even as it became increasingly clear that Heller had been exploiting the group for his own gain. Years later, after Eazy-E's tragic death in 1995, more details about Heller's manipulation came to light. Eazy reportedly admitted to close friends that Heller had been stealing money and pitting the bandmates against each other. Jerry played us all, Cube said. He knew how to divide and conquer. By the time the truth came out, it was too late. NWA was no more, and its members had gone their separate ways. Cube and Dre went on to achieve incredible success as solo artists, but the shadow of their fallout has never entirely disappeared. Fast forward to today, and the story of NWA's rise and fall remains one of the most compelling sagas in music history. In 2015, Cube and Dre reunited for the promotion of the movie Straight Outta Compton, posing together on the cover of a Rolling Stone. For fans, it was a moment of closure, but for Cube, the wounds haven't fully healed. "We've shown respect for each other," Cube said, "but that doesn't mean I've forgotten." The legacy of NWA is complex. On one hand, they revolutionized hip-hop and created a body of work that still resonates today. On the other hand, their story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of greed, mismanagement, and betrayal. So, what's your take on the Ice Cube and Dr. Dre fallout? Could Dre have done more to save NWA, or was the breakup inevitable? Was Cube right to leave, or should he have stayed and fought for change from within? And was Jerry Heller the mastermind behind the group's collapse? Or was he just one piece of a larger puzzle? Now, let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into hip-hop's most legendary stories.